Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Fallout New Vegas. I'm Serious JG. Not finding anything useful on how to defeat Ulysses. Just a bunch of people saying, oh, it's easy, I just use plasma grenades. Like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like for whatever reason he's regenerating at the same speed for them that he is for me. So what we're going to do is try this shit again. And I'm going to try to... I guess I should have looked up how to... Like, if there's a way to reprogram the iBots to fight him or something. But I'm just going to try to... I don't know how you get past these without hitting them, but... yeah, it seems to me like you should be able to not... There should be some way to avoid getting hit by those things. Oh, maybe you can actually disarm them if you walk up to them slowly. I didn't think to try that. Look if there's a way to interact with it. Doesn't look like there is. You cannot use this now. I have to start combat with them first. Alright, never mind then. Alright, so we'll start combat with him. Or maybe I'll just try to actually talk to him.
Even in this place.
Still don't understand why you're doing this. Meant to kill me, should have done it long ago. It's an accident. If you blame me with the divide, let me answer for it. So you intend to bomb the Mojave. You can't destroy the West. Even if you have faith in the NCR. One can divide a community, make it stronger. You saw in the divide. Well, I believe that one person can make or break a nation. You already know this. See, now we're changing the path, the dialogue. So maybe now I won't be arguing with them anymore.
It may be that as much destruction has been written in the earth here, you may build something else, as you built the divide.
Yeah, I'll build a great Japan as Masamune Date.
There is a shadow of a nation behind you, the hope of a people, yet it may not matter. The divide still stands against us.
The divide? What do you mean? We've already handled everything it can throw at us. Oh, I think I just actually talked him out of fighting us.
Our enemies gather outside, shadows of the bear and a bull. They will have found their way in, just as you did. It was always my intention. In case I could not kill you, the marked men would flood this place.
Oh, never mind. So they weren't hostile towards... I guess they were hostile towards both of us.
We cannot prevent what comes. Then let us make our stand here. Two couriers together at the divide.
Okay, so now we're friends. And these guys are coming to kill us. This should be significantly easier to deal with. I would think. Because I was dealing with quite a few of them before. Well, the red glare should be able to do some damage here. They spread out pretty fast, didn't they? Do I have triple wings on this side? Because I'm getting terrible accuracy. Well, now I do. Well, never mind. I intended to, I intended to fight, if I can win the DLC without fighting. That's what I was going to do the first time around. We can always go back and fight him after successfully navigating a non-combat version. Just want to make sure I'm not shooting Ulysses when I'm come on, hit something. Shouldn't have to be that accurate with the missile launcher, right? Oh, you got the range. I'm sure he'd blow up Eddie a lot using the red glare rocket launcher. Absorb some of that damage, so you could free you. Wow, there's a lot of them. I'll give them that. What are you muttering about? It's not like you to be so talkative, Ulysses. Oh wait, never mind. That's exactly what you are. Okay, I'm not going to shoot rockets at a grenade. That doesn't seem wise. Courier, you sure love using explosives at close range. Okay, well, when I come back, if I come back and fight Ulysses, I need to come back with... Wait, oh, medical eyebot must be frenzied, because it's like 7 hostile. Either that or he just changed side. Like, maybe I accidentally hit Ulysses and he became hostile towards us, which would really ruin this entirely. Okay, no, Ulysses is still not hostile. This is going to take a million years, but we should be able to win it. It'd be a lot less difficult than fighting Ulysses with his ability to absorb all damage. I do appreciate they're attacking modified Black Ninja style. They didn't all come in at the same time. Suddenly none of them can hit a damn thing. Now that they're my allies, they can't hit these guys to save their lives. The morning passed so quickly, it was time to use missiles. Oh, it's a cloaked guy. Well, I guess we completed the courier. Well, let's save a slot where we can come back and fight him later, but I guess I just won the DLC without fighting him after all. What up, gangster?
If we're done here, let's leave the divide behind. If we get separated, I'll meet you above Hopeville, near the canyon wreckage.
Okay. Well, you seem like a nice and trustworthy guy, so See if I can find... there were things that looked like... no. Never mind. Where did he say to meet him? Well, whatever. Should be in my quests now. Cancel the missile launch. Oh. Yeah, I should probably still do that, huh? Well, how do I cancel the missile launch then? Boy, there's a lot of missiles in here. Alright, well, I don't know how to cancel the missile launch, but, I can get my last couple of missiles. I don't think there's 5 more to be found in here, but yeah, how do I cancel this launch? What is it actually pointing me towards? Is it pointing me towards Ulysses?
If we're done here, let's leave the divide behind. If we get separated, I'll meet you about Hopeville, near the canyon.
Okay, Hopeville Canyon wreckage. Can't open either one of those. I have a feeling if I just leave, it's not actually going to complete the quest, though. There's no response in this elevator. Okay, well. I'm supposed to interact with something that's going to stop this launch, obviously. Well, this thing seems pretty centrally located. Doctor's kit would be wonderful right now. Nope. Leave the console alone. Attempt to cancel the launch. Okay. The terminal is already engaged in this countdown sequence, and the abort code has been overridden. You might be able to change a missile's target, or accelerate the countdown and launch the missiles immediately. Redirect the missiles to target both NCR and Caesar's Legion. Redirect Caesar's. Accelerate the countdown and launch the missiles at NCR. Attempt to cancel the launch. The abort code is encrypted with an incredibly advanced pre-war military encryption sequence. You'd have to be a code-breaking robot to crack it in time. Ask Eddie for help.
Experiment log 369248/A. iBot Duraframe Universal Interface Override System. This is Dr. Whitley presiding.
Hey, Dr. Whitley.
Initial tests of the override system are promising. Against unsecured or lightly encrypted targets, the iBots have a 98% success rate. More heavily protected systems are still problematic. Military-grade encryption presents a very real possibility of critical overload of key systems.
Oh, we're going to have to sacrifice Eddie's life here?
Before any robots were destroyed. But if we don't address the problem, our iBots will fry themselves hacking military networks.
Are you saying you can stop this missile? No, Eddie. I won't let you sacrifice yourself. There must be another way. But the log said this kind of encryption would kill you. I won't let you sacrifice yourself. There has to be another way. If you're really sure you want this, okay, go ahead and stop the missile, and goodbye. Forget it, the Legion had this coming. I don't feel like we should nuke either place, really. That seems pretty... Eddie's a good guy, but... we don't know he's gonna... Oh, he gave us a flare gun, though. Because I guess he is going to die. Yeah, I guess he officially is going to die. They said there was a chance he could die. Well, Ulysses, you're an asshole. You cost us Eddie's life. He would appear to be, yeah, pretty thoroughly dead. Ulysses, I'm gonna kill you after all. Just gonna wait until you think we're friends so that you won't be able to stop me. I mean, we could have chosen to fire it at the Legion, I guess. I don't know how that affects the endgame. Poison removed. Oh, good. Eddie got to live his dream of being blowed up. Is he going to narrate the entire ending? Because, I don't know if I approve of that. It's a long DLC to have it be a gag ending. Couldn't his consciousness live on in another Ibot?
Hopeville burned, lightless in the night. Invisible fires of radiation scorching it from within and without. It is said a man still walked its streets with a tattered jacket, an old world flag etched on the back. He remained there, perhaps as punishment for the scars he left on the wastes, or a reminder of a history he could not forget.
A reminder of the history he could not forget?
His journey was over. The courier had been the end of his road. As for the courier, he turned his back on his home for the second time and made his way back, navigating the treachery of the divide. Tunnelers and the marked men avoided the lone figure, as if recognizing the courier's right to passage, or out of fear. The courier walked until he stood again upon the edge of the divide, the last road he would walk before the second battle for Hoover Dam. There, beside his feet, was a final package from one courier to another. A footlocker bearing a gift and a message. But that message, it is something for couriers to carry, and for them alone.
So you don't get to see what it says.
The lights flickered across the divide, reminders that the old world histories persist and find meaning in the present. It said, war never changes.
Oh, okay.
Men do.
Tied that around.
Through the roads they walk. And this road has reached its end.
Well, that was kind of underwhelming. So we have to sacrifice Eddie, or just let the nukes drop. Fires of Armageddon. The divide broke cities, flayed skins from bone, and threatened to destroy the world, but you survived it and stopped it. You can put a single point into any of your special attributes. You also gain reputation with the followers of Apocalypse and the Brotherhood of Steel for stopping another Armageddon. Liked. Enough news of your good works has been passed around that people like you. Idolized by the Brotherhood of Steel. Renowned for your extensive support and goodwill. You're idolized by the community. Perception, I guess. No point in doing anything with charisma now. Completed the end. Open footlocker. Bitter drink. Courier duster. Old glory, which is a flagpole. A red glare, which I already have. Rockets. Snakebite Tourniquet, Ulysses Duster, Ulysses Final Message, and Ulysses Mask. Let's listen to Ulysses' final message. I believe if you get fame with the Brotherhood and the followers by sacrificing Eddie. I'm assuming if you launch at NCR, you gain Legion fame, and if you launch at Legion, you gain NCR fame, but birds of a feather.
Last tape, last message. In case you best me. If you're hearing this, you have no blood or word. This message and all that lies with it. It is for you, courier. If you want to know the why of things. This world,
play the game over again.
I've walked a good part of it. I stopped only because of you. What you did gave me pause. Long ago, I crossed the Colorado.
California, 86.
First among the Legion to see Hoover Dam in all its glory.
Okay.
An old world wall, yet bridging two sides. And beyond it, a symbol of a two-headed bear. An idea great enough to challenge Caesar himself. Might kill him taking it, whether he won or lost. The bull needs to fight, needs the challenge. Without it, it falters, dies in the dust. Might be a lesson there, in you and me. Leave the thought behind the message to you. My message is this. The destruction that has been wrought at the Divide or elsewhere. If you couldn't stop me, it can happen again. It will keep happening. If war doesn't change, men must change. And so must their symbols. Even if it is nothing at all. Know what you follow, courier.
Look like I'm wearing nothing
Just
at all.
as I followed you to the end. Whatever your symbol, carry it on your back and wear it proudly when you stand at Hoover Dam.
Well, this countdown ended just before it looked like it was going to. So let's see what happens. Let's see what I look like wearing this courier duster, which is presumably super armor, because oh, it's an NCR. Okay, whatever. A lot of rockets. Oh, this is increasing my carrying capacity. Alright, well, none of this matters at the moment, so I'll just drop off this armor, and that'll give me plenty of carrying capacity. Now I got my cool mustache, otherwise I'm dressed like Ulysses. So this would be the grave of Ulysses, except that he's not dead, so what the hell, game? Am I still in the Divide? Because he had a place that he told us to meet him. Yeah, by the canyon wreckage. I think you're supposed to be able to, I think you're supposed to be able to actually encounter him, though. I think if we go back and do... If we go back in, we can actually find him. I don't know if we could talk to him or not, but I think we can find him, like, hanging around, watching over the Divide someplace. I don't know if I care about going... I think I might be done. I don't know if I go back... If I care about winning that battle. Going back and fighting him instead of talking him out of it. I'm really not sure if I care. Oh, that might be him right there. Because obviously we didn't shut down the iBots properly, and if we did, we'd be able to damage him. But everything else, like you have to interact with that terminal, you have to pick a target. The only difference is he won't be standing here. So, like, as far as pride of feeding him, I don't know if I care.
Full circle. Walked your road. Now back again.
Are you really still
Something
looking for
else
me to give you
new
a
need an
straightforward
answer.
answer? What are you doing here?
A question one could have asked you not long ago, before walking the road west into the storms.
Yeah, well, whatever. Tell me.
Need to be here. See what was done. It's custom of the bear to never see the marks it claws in the land. Not my custom.
And cigar sucks, by the way.
Maybe that's why you've come to. Need to see where the missile from Ashton touched ground down below in Hopeville. The Courier's Mile.
What's the Courier's Mile? Is that where the Ashton missile hit? Oh, I guess this is where we go to that section.
My name for it. If you have a better one, you grant it. My choice in names won't carry past you and I.
Well, of course, it will be the official
Lies
name in
along
the game,
road,
but...
running from the Hopeville silo, straight onto where the ground burns, and wind howls even stronger than here.
What about the marked men?
That's part of why I'm here. Watch them. If they attack me, try to enter the Mojave. I answer. Not looking to kill them. Save them, if I can. There might
Teach
be
them the
something
Bible.
saving in them. If not, then what I do is mercy, not murder.
Either way, I get to kill him. Divides irradiated. Are you sure you want to stay here?
The invisible fires burn here. True enough. Still, to have helped carry out such an act, then not face it. Not my way. If my
my way or
life
the highway.
burns out here, so be it. Until then, I wait and watch. See what the road brings.
I had more questions.
Questions have a habit of making others.
They're like germs. Can you tell me once again? Can you tell me again what you're doing here? I just told you. What the fuck?
Need to be here.
Okay, it's the same thing again. Is this where you're making your camp?
Not a camp. Vigil, maybe. Never claimed it as mine. If anyone owns the divide, your claim is stronger than mine.
I'll buy it from you for
Don't
some
feel
beads.
like adding a
Glass beads.
campfire to the ones that already burn below. If you brought Mojave gifts, might be able to shape something for the road.
Any recipes you can teach? What? Hey, I've got a great recipe here for penne pasta.
Depends what history has to say about them. There's a lot the land can provide, if you know the road that led to it. Mojave's got ways of healing most ills. If not, some tribes are usually found a way you didn't expect. Like healing powders. Tribes back west only use Xander and Brock flour. There's a way the twin mothers in the east used to brew it, though.
They added vodka.
Called it bitter drink. Mixed up the Xander and Brock in a bottle. Added some kick to it, so your head doesn't get all clouded.
What's the history of it?
History. Cures a wound, leaves the bitterness that caused it. The twin mothers were always about lessons. Kaisar
Them
taught
big
them the
twins and
last
them
one,
V-twins?
though. So that's it for them. Recipe still exists. Legion uses it on forced marches with wounded soldiers. Wouldn't have made it through Crimson River Trail a few years back without it. Losing so much blood early on was a Cazador feast. Enough Xander root and Brock flour along the trail, though. The Legion was able to keep pace and get where they were going.
Can you share the recipe with me?
Can do that, and one better. Just enough around to mix some. Here. Might make the twin mother's history live a little longer. You carrying it. When you drink it, down it all in one shot, or your stomach's not going to want to keep going after the second drink.
Lovely. I was hoping you could help me shape something. I've got some clay here.
Let's see what gifts the Mojave has for us.
Oh, Okay, so we can craft shit with him. He's a campfire, essentially.
Something else in you needing an answer.
Any more recipes you can teach?
Nothing more than I've already shared. We'll have to keep with what we know. Tired of history's lessons anyway.
I have some materials I've gathered if you wanted to take a look.
Let's make something new from the old.
Yeah, he's a campfire. Great.
Something else
He's a
new.
campfire. I reached Vegas and I dealt with House.
House spoke, acted through machines. Sometimes can judge a man by his messengers. Sometimes the messengers judge him.
Sometimes we like to
Wonder
spend
what
it.
happens to Vegas now. The tribes, families. We'll see.
Well, you will. I'll be staring at this divide and talking about Xander Root. You don't sound happy. Thought you might be glad House was dealt with. Vegas falls apart, seems like more history will be lost. You don't sound happy.
What you did was for the best. The old world died long ago. Anyone who believes they can make it return, and everything will be as it was. It is a dangerous belief. Needs to be silenced before their belief spreads.
Man, I gotta kill that
If you
yes.
saw a house, you didn't see a man. An old world spirit, perhaps. Filthy, diseased. If so, killing him was mercy, not cruelty.
Got your final message.
Didn't think I'd be breathing to hear you say that. Message isn't important. Meaning is.
The medium is the
Had to
massage.
speak of it, in case the words got lost in paper, ink, or others' voices. Maybe even yours in time.
Although you don't have
Still,
a voice, you all text on the screen, courier.
the courier
Sorry,
belongs to you now.
kind of
Or
flag in here.
history. Doesn't matter.
Want to hear more about Hoover Dam?
Old world wall, run red with blood of bear and bull. It'll bleed more before the sun sets on the Mojave. That place and I have a past, owe it a debt, and it owes me. If your path takes you there, know you're not the only one. It's the wall by which this age will be measured, the gravestone of the Mojave. Old world never meant it as such.
It's the last chance to wring any meaning out of this. Ulysses, I don't know, this whole thing feels like somebody just really wanted to have this deep, meaningful villain, and it's just hard to work it when it's like them, when it's an actor playing off unvoiced text on a screen which represents your input. It's just difficult. But yeah, his obsession with like the whole thing doesn't work to me because he's obsessed with things that you, the character, did, but it's not choices the player gets to make. It's things the character did before the player took over as the character. And you seem to be the character. There's been a huge disconnect throughout this game for me with. There's a lot of things I love about New Vegas, but one of the things I like about Fallout 3 is that you get this like quick rushed childhood in the vault, and then you go out and you have this adventure, and you get to build your character. But in Fallout New Vegas, it's like you've got this whole history that you, the player, don't really know about. So it's not. They're trying to do this thing where it's like a blank slate and you create the character, but it doesn't work. They haven't set the stage in a way where you can do that because you've got this backstory, and you can kind of ignore it for the most part. It's, oh, you were a courier, you were doing deliveries, like whatever. You weren't involved in politics, you weren't involved in Legion versus NCR, so you can strike out as basically a blank slate. But Ulysses kind of wrecks that. He's like, here's all these things that you did, and you have to own up to your actions. And it's like, but they weren't my actions. Have you been to... But yeah, this whole notion... I feel bad about the fact that Eddie died, but we're not getting anything out of Ulysses on that score, so whatever.
Walk there sometimes. Keep the walks short. Still, it's important to see. Something else to answer for. Occasionally sift through the dust, the buildings. See if I can find some history, marks of America. If you want them, keep them. You've earned it. Nothing to be gained by me holding them, and more will surface in time.
I gave you some rockets. Find anything in the dust of Hopeville?
Nothing but wind, sand, ash. More may reveal itself in time, not now. If you're determined, return. Might be something new surfaces.
I'm heading back to Mojave to settle things.
Can hear the weight in your feet. You're bound for that old world wall, Hoover Dam. Maybe not now. In time.
Feels like an anticlimax after all this, but it's still the game's ending.
Shed too much blood there to let it go. Can't stop you from going. Wouldn't. A warning, though. The legate Linnaeus, whether Caesar stands or not, Linnaeus will come.
Who is Legate Linnaeus? Is he that guy that we've already defeated several times, although usually we had to cheese him?
Linnaeus, the butcher, monster, terror of the East. Not even his slaves have seen his face. Struck them blind so they can't. Wears a mask. Don't even know if it's the same man.
He's got a lot of zits,
He
so
put
he's kind
Colorado
of embarrassed.
to the sword. Broke the hangdogs by throwing their hounds upon the flames, so they might burn forever in the afterlife.
Why is he coming west?
To take Hoover Dam, Legion will need something as big as the old world itself. Another symbol forged by history. Linnaeus carries all the terrors of the East with him. He's the myth, the weapon the Legion needs. When he arrives, he'll fall on Hoover Dam like a hammer. Break the bear in two.
Into what? Any ideas on how to beat him?
19 tribes could not do it. All the lights in Vegas cannot. His strength lies in his title, and it is his weakness. He will not fight a losing battle and destroy what he represents. Put the idea of loss in him. Convince him the bear will not be the 20th tribe beneath his heel. It will make him pause like nothing on earth.
He'll know that it'll harm his reputation points.
Convince him alone. Draw upon history. The past of other legates are not filled with victories. Remind Linnaeus of this.
Do the Burning Man DLC and get some hints. Other legates, you mean Graham, yep.
Yes. Graham was broken on the wall of the dam. Caesar had him burned and cast into the earth, into the largest canyon you've ever seen. Watched the flames trail all the way to the bottom. Somehow, Joshua walked away from that, went beyond Caesar's gaze. His footsteps trailing fire, walking from one hell, maybe to another.
Or maybe it was
When one
Utah.
is ruined like Graham was, sometimes home is the only place left. If so, he went to New Canaan, Caesar's anger written on him like a book. Caesar's orders to the Frumentari were to watch for him, find Graham, kill him. Didn't try. Could've. No good would have come of it.
Would have wrecked one of the
His
DLCs.
life and his nature. It'll kill him more surely than any blade of the Legion.
I think we left him alive. I don't even
If
remember.
you've heard word of it, or seen sign of him, let it keep. Let his history keep.
I'll remember that.
And there's nothing more to be done. The Mojave awaits.
Well, I think there's more to
Something
that.
else in you needing a...
Want to hear more about Hoover Dam?
Old.
I guess I can't get any
The
different thoughts about the legate, different dialogue choices. I don't seem to be able to unlock them. That's all good. Well, I really don't feel like... I feel like I'm kind of done. I don't feel like doing another video where I do this successfully. So let's... we beat the DLC without killing him. And now let's see what happens if you just... take him out by just blowing his head off with missiles. Wow, he still has ludicrous damage resistance. Wow, okay. Maybe we didn't kill him after all. He seems to have ninja stealthed his way out. Or he fell to his death. Either way, I'm satisfied with that as the ending. So, a villain who made like 800 million speeches gets 8 rockets pumped into the back of his head. Still isn't enough to kill him, but he seems to fall off the edge of the world while attempting to situate himself for combat. I will go with that. I don't think I'm going to go back and redo that fight. Maybe I will. But, I mean, I know all I'll be doing is, like, yeah, I'd have to go get more doctor's kits, try to figure out why shutting off the iRobots didn't work properly and do it properly the next time. But at the end of the day, you know it's going to be the exact same ending. Like, it won't make any difference. He was just standing there saying, okay, well, if you find me at the top, whatever. He played no role in the decision that you make about, you know, resetting the nukes or launching them at NCR, like nothing. So, I'm vaguely curious if I went and launched at Legion, what would the NCR say? Would I get special dialogue? I have a feeling it would be extremely limited and not that worthwhile, and I'm kind of happy to just let this one go. Didn't think ahead of a lot of things to say at this point, and some of the RTK and Nobunaga's Ambitions LPs I think ultimately may have even gone longer, but this is probably the longest LP I've ever done, certainly over the longest stretch of time. And anybody who watched the whole thing through, hey, thanks, man. It was good having you along for the ride. I'm going to have to find something else to do, because I think Fallout New Vegas is... I done pretty much plumbed the depths of this game. I could... it's not entirely true. I could try to... get to the path to the Courier's Mile, but I mean, I already looked that up. It's like, it's just, there's no story. It's just a place you can go, and it's the enemies are particularly dangerous, and you know, there's loot and there's high radiation levels, and this whole DLC. The big MT, the spooky horror movie one was probably the funniest. It had some really frustrating combat sequences, but it was also had the most comedy, and it was the most enjoyable. I liked the storyline of that one. I remember being incredibly frustrated by the combat in the Blood Money, whatever one it was. And then I remember finding the story of Joshua Graham. He seemed like an interesting character in that DLC, where you just go deal with 2 different native tribes. But I don't know. All of the DLCs seemed a little. None of them seem to be like, I don't know. Like the core game is pretty damn good. That's been my experience with the Fallout DLCs in the past. Like, they're fun, but the core game's just great. And like Far Harbor, I don't even remember the name of the Fallout 3 DLC where you go to this like weird resort town. There's a disembodied brain as a villain. It's just weird. I'm way off on a tangent now. But yeah, okay, so what did I meant to say about this? This whole DLC was a little, I don't know, it's like I didn't get back into... It didn't get me back into Fallout New Vegas. Like, it was a bit of a chore fighting through this. It was just, they were just making everything really... I guess the idea was for it to be challenging if you were a level 50, you know, almost level 50 character, but it was just kind of a chore, and I understand the writers of Fallout probably think Ulysses is like the coolest character they ever came up with, but I just think there's this massive flaw at the heart of the whole thing where his rivalry and enmity with you is based on stuff that just doesn't really make that much sense, because it's all stuff that happens before the game, and you create this blank slate character, but then you give them this backstory. I feel like I understand what they were going for, and it was an interesting thing to try, but I don't know that it really came off. It's usually a lot simpler to have the villains of these games be motivated by something less personal towards the protagonist, if the protagonist is going to be in any way a blank slate for the player. If it's a role playing game and you are playing the role of this character, and some players will object, I want to decide what my character is, and that's one way to design a game. But some players might not like it. But if you give us a protagonist who is like, it's fully voice actor protagonist, you're playing through their story, but they are a character in and of themselves. You are controlling the action sequences and engaging and making minor decisions here and there, but the core of who the character is established, and you don't get to affect it. Then maybe you can do a villain like Ulysses. Just in terms of Ulysses' motivations. I don't know if you can ever do a villain like Ulysses in terms of making that many cryptic fucking speeches, because there's a reason I was doing the Black Scorpion voice, and it wasn't entirely because he sounded spooky. Some of it was just because he had these meandering, weird speeches. Anyway, that's it. Fallout New Vegas is done. Let me know in the comments if you'd be really interested in seeing any more Fallout games. I don't know if I could do another LP that's going to last like 8 years. But I don't know if I'm still going to be LPing in 2028. I mean, well, let's not get dark here, JG. But yeah, it's entirely possible. It seems like I don't feel like I want to commit to doing another 8-year-long LP. But I could probably do, if people were interested, Fallout 3 or Fallout 4. I've never done any of the earlier Fallout games. They all seem fun, but I think I was about to say there's enough good LPs out there of them. Like there's not enough good LPs of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. But yeah, let's just say that I'm done with Fallout New Vegas. I don't feel the need to go win that battle with Ulysses. I think having Ulysses end on a big anticlimactic wet fart in church feels pretty appropriate. Sad way to end the LP, but they can't all end with Garrus telling us that he needs to recalibrate the weapons and asking us if we can wait till later. If only they could. See you out there on the range, guys. I hope you had there's a long ride. I hope it was a fun ride. And I'll catch you all further down the trail.